Alright, hello everybody. Most specifically, hello AGDQ2019 review people. What's up? This is Job Simulator, the 2050 Archives. That's what I'm running today. That's what I'm submitting today. I'm submitting any percent, or well, it's technically all jobs percent, but it's really any percent if we're being honest here. It's where the timing starts at a certain point that I'll tell you later and ends when we finish the last job. Those are the 4 jobs. Can be done in any order, blah, blah, blah. The other one is 100% as a donation incentive. It pretty much, what it does is it makes it where I have to go through the entire credits, which can be done at various different points without losing time. Do a specific task, but not like a task, because task is actually a vocabulary word that we use to describe stuff. But, do a certain thing in each one of those jobs. Each one being different for each job. Throw something at JobBot in the museum, and then start a job with the cartridge. And it only adds like a minute to the whole run if done correctly. The 100% route. And that's because the timing is different. Like the start time and end time are different. Like it adds maybe 30 seconds to the end of the run, and maybe like 15 seconds to the beginning. And everything else is practically the same. It's stupid. Anyways, for 100% timing starts as soon as we grab anything here. But we typically say when we grab the, this card. And any percent, I'll show you the timing later, but say this was a 100% route. What I'd do is I'd grab this, throw it at him, quickly do that, and pull the lever. Pull up the level. Then he does this, in which case in 100% I'd spam the menu button, because to move on we have to press the menu button to be able to move on into the task from the first time, load up a new save file. However, in any percent, this is where we would start time. As soon as I hit the menu button, this gives a very consistent 3, 2, 1 countdown, and it's great. Now we start out with auto mechanics simply because it's faster if we start out with the cartridge that's further back, because we can actually grab out of bounds the cartridges and put it in. Office worker and gourmet chef, they're fairly easy to grab. Store clerk isn't, and auto mechanic is practically impossible to grab out of bounds without losing some time. Before we go in, a few vocabulary words. There's jobs. Each one of these is a job. They're pretty much the setting that we do stuff in. Then there's tasks. You'll know each task because we have to pull a task activator to start it. And then it'll just, and then there's also subtasks, and subtasks are all the small things that we have to do to actually be able to complete a task. And the task activator I'll explain once we go in. Ready, 3, 2, 1, start. So we're loading into auto mechanic. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a soda can, shake it up, and prepare a few things for some later tasks. You'll see it. It's kind of hectic at the start. It's always hectic at the start. Anyways, we're going to do that. I'm going to put 4 batteries down there, 2 of these things in there. This is our task activator for auto mechanic. We pull this chain to start each task. That's how you know when a task ends, another one begins. Anyways, for this, we just have to put some fluid into the car and change out the battery. We have to change out the battery before the fluid all gets poured in, otherwise bad stuff happens. After we finish each car, what we have to do is we have to drop the car and then print the receipt. It's slightly faster if we rotate the car to the back side before dropping it, because it drops slightly faster that way and brings up the print receipt sooner, which we can then print and throw.
We're just getting started.
Anyways, we're on to the next task. This needs to be changed to stash. This is just like stuff that we can have. And so one of the things for optimizing the route here is optimizing where we need a... I can say words here. Oh gosh. It's optimizing what we have when where. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, for this test, what we're doing is we're repairing this guy's car by destroying it. Because that's what auto mechanics do. They just sabotage cars, right? So that way you come back later, and then they give you discounts. So you actually do come back. Anyways, that should drop. If you notice, we poured this soda into the headlight. It's a joke about headlight fluid, that's how that works. But right after we strip out 3 pistons, there's a little dialogue that happens, where it's like, yeah, also make sure to change out that headlight fluid. I know about cars. So that's why we do that. It's to skip that dialogue. Anyways, this one we have to change the headlights, repaint it, put in a new air freshener, and have the hood ornament. So, quick donation can be set here as we wait for dialogue.
Well, reboot my hard drive. It's like a whole new car. Drop it down and give me that bill so I can show it off to my buddies.
Another thing about optimizing the route, this button will always, you have to wait for the shield to come off before you can press it. And so one of the things is knowing at what points in the dialogue does that button drop. Anyways, we're now moving on to the most inconsistent part of this job. It's this carbon. Because we had to put this banana in the tailpipe and then switch this to decor and put a thing in there, but it's very inconsistent. So safety strats there.
Drivers would use air fresheners to improve the breathing quality of the air within the vehicle.
Put that in. Wait for this to happen. This one doesn't have dialogue, it's just wait an awkward amount of time. Yeah. There's a way you can do that fast. The current world record for the IO level, they put in the banana early and don't have it act weird, but I can't do that. It's very inconsistent, the fast strats for this. I need to put down tires ASAP. 2 there, 2 here. This is bad day. The engine's overheating, but we can, get that fixed by pouring fluid through the hood, because that makes sense. Anyways, we're going to go to the left side, because one of the things that we have to do after replacing all 4 tires is put one in the back there. We can actually do that right here. It has to be flipped to the left side at some point. And we skip dialogue if we put in the tire in the back before we put in the last, we change out the last tire. So the last thing we gotta do is fill up the slushy, which I'm just gonna drink. Anyways, you don't actually need these tires.
Let me see the damage.
It's a dialogue for that button. One of the things is actually that you kind of have to worry about in this one is space management. You kind of use the floor a bit in this job, so kind of making sure that you don't have stuff in the way of where you're going to put other stuff is kind of important. Anyways, this is Bandit Bot right here. This is the only time where we have to use a fluid here, like a specific fluid. Most of the time when you can fill something up and use fluid, you can just use whatever you want, but this one actually has to be the gas. Anyways, here we just bam, license plate. Alright, there's the dialogue. Yeah. That could have been slightly better. Guys, look, he's got the cheddar. It's jokes and stuff. Anyways, he's waiting from authorities, so we just totally legally changed out his license plate and stuff. It's like GTA. Anyways, we're gonna put that to decor. We're gonna need that on decor later. We're actually gonna go ahead and put an air freshener right there, because this is he's participating in the car show. So what we gotta do is we just gotta change 3 things out. So one of the things that we do is paint color. Another thing is headlight and license plate, because just spamming this counts as changing it. And we put that air freshener there as backup, but sometimes the game just doesn't want to cooperate at all. This has never happened before.
New tires. Okay, give
me
something fresh. I can see you're busy, so just drop the car when you're finished with it, alright?
Literally never happened before.
Hey, you know what? You did a pretty good job with this.
I guess I can talk about the soft lock. There's potential to soft lock in any of the tasks that have this kind of car where the or I don't know what these are called, but it kind of extends out there. Because in the small room space, which is what I play in, that little piece actually extends over the print button. And if you like, so print auto prints the receipt for you.
Here's some old paints I had lying around.
And if you lose the receipt, then you can't print a new one because you can't press the button. Anyways, here we're just gonna Bob Ross it up. There we go. This is the one time where switching it to the back actually does not save time, but rather loses time. Anyways, we need to change this to tires. Yeah, we're doing another tires one here. This race car lost all of its tires, so we got to replace the tires and fill up its gas tank with energy drink because that makes sense.
Okay, so racing super fast as usual, and out of nowhere there was all this oil.
Anyways, we just got to make sure that we switch out all the tires here before she finishes the dialogue, because that for some reason makes it filling up the gas tank super duper fast. Anyways, we no longer need that. So, yeah. For some reason, the gas tank is a little bit finicky. Sometimes you're pouring the fluid in there, and it's not filling up. I don't know why. It's just weird. But, whatever. I feel like I was explaining something and lost track. There's a lot to explain in this. Alright, so this is firepower. What we gotta do is we gotta place the batteries in there with those kinds. That's why we got them out earlier. We also have to take out everything in there and switch that to the core. We also have to turn to the right back. This is the only time which we have to turn a car to the right, where it forces us. There are a few times where they will actually force you to turn the car to a specific one of these directions, which is really annoying, and have to route around it. So if you see me turning the car in weird directions at any point, that's usually why. We had to do it in the first one where the tires were popped. You had to turn it to the left side. There's a couple of other times. One of them I think is coming up next. But yeah. Oh, it's this one. This one's Chop Shop. We just gotta simply get rid of 8 things off the car. So, there was 2 headlights, license plates, 2 tires, 2 pistons. We've officially passed it. And the 100% route, what we do here is we go in here and we take out this hand. This is a special thing that we have to do for this task. Just grab the hand out of the glove box, because you're grabbing a glove out of the glove box. It's a joke. But it's also an achievement.
It's great. Are you done with it? Can I drive it home?
Anyways, yeah, we're just waiting for dialogue there, so donation or 2 can be read during this time.
Best valet service ever.
Nice job. I'll be back for my share of the earnings later. Let's just call that last job a little bit of personal business. Just pretend you never saw anything, alright?
Anyways, we're gonna roll for a good run here. 13, could be better. Anyways, here we just gotta take all these sticks and the nest off. We also have to steal this. It's a rare thing or another. Anyways, here we had to flip it to front left. It's one of those required ones. The mileage counter is showing different. Yeah, the mileage counter is showing he stole the car from his dad, and he's trying to hide all the evidence, so... Yeah, so we just threw it in reverse and put the pedal to the metal. That's how you reverse the mileage counter, right? Right? You're going backwards, so the number's gonna go backwards, right? Yeah, that's how things work. Yeah.
I'll get this squared away later.
Yeah, your dad's never gonna notice that the car is now blue instead of red. Whatever. Alright. This one, you just gotta do 4 things in a certain order, waiting a certain amount of time between each, so donations can be right here.
From my rich uncle. You gotta help me make it look as awesome as I am. Pick out a paint color that really reflects my... Alright, interesting, solid choice. I feel that. I'm all about the cosmetics, you man. You gotta stand out. I got this custom piece of hardware off the internet. Why don't you throw it on there for me? Yo, my hood's looking empty. You gotta help me spice it up with some custom bling.
So here I'm gonna actually explain something. There's a rule in Job Simulator. It's we don't have an official name. We're just calling it do each subtask in order. Pretty much for every task you have to do all subtasks in order with a few exceptions. This is going to be important when we go into Gourmet Chef. Another one is that as soon as you're finished with the last subtask of a task, even before like this task activation thing comes down that you pull, it starts the next task. So this allows for some very interesting routing.
So let's give this thing the works. How about a fresh coat of paint?
Anyways, you notice it's right here we have to give fresh coated paint, but we also have to throw in a certain amount of items onto these little floating platform things. And also dangle a certain amount of stuff. And so what we do is we put on 8 things on the sides, as we gotta do 8 things in this floating thing. I usually do 10 for safety, and also paint it. But if we don't do it, if we paint it last, then we can skip some dialogue. So yeah, we do that. Anyways, this is pretty much just a copy of Chop Shop. It's just everything's a lemon now. So yeah, we just take off 8 things. But just like the other Chop Shop, I like to go the extra mile here and steal everything. Because here at the auto mechanics place, we go the extra mile.
I'm going to have this passed off to my
We don't go the extra mile at all. We don't put your tires back or anything. We just steal your stuff. That's basically all we do here. We just steal. Anyways, we should be coming up to the last task in this job. Yep, this is the last one. I'm gonna throw a few things on the ground here. This is the one time when you want as much stuff on the ground as possible.
Hello, human. I'm on my way to get married.
Just for easy grabbing.
Decorate my car with some...
Anyways, we just gotta put stuff here.
I think we need more debris.
That's not good.
Debris equals love.
I did not mean to turn that in front and turn into one of the sides, so we lost a little bit of time there, but we gotta hang something in there on the radio antenna and 4 things down there. Now here's the next most inconsistent part of the run, is breaking that wine bottle. Anyways, we just gotta put a gift in the trunk. Anyways, this right here is the exit burrito. This is how you exit the task. The task is considered finished since the last subtask is finished, which is giving the receipt to this guy. We officially finished this job, and we got 3 more to go. Next one, we're going to go into store clerk. As you can see, this is gold now to verify that we have completed it. So at the very beginning of store clerk, what we got to do is the first task is actually to clear off the desk here, and we just did that. There's a weird quirk in the game where if you complete all the subtasks in the task before it pops, before any of the subtasks pop up on this instruction board, then you actually just immediately skip on to the next task. It's great.
Good afternoon, human.
We're going to be using that quite a bit in Gourmet Chef.
All right, here's your paper currency.
Anyways, this is pie skip right here.
Many thanks.
If you ring up the cash register, close it, put the dollar in, it's considered both that you
It was important for stores like this.
it's considered that you both put in the dollar and then close the cash register, because it doesn't actually check to see if you did it in order.
Hello. Would you kindly put those in? Ah, yes, much better. Would you kindly jumbo
Anyways,
size
yeah,
that?
we're doing that.
You're very good at standing. Now, ta-ta, and here's some banknotes for you.
It's simply,
Keep the change, good human.
it's hard to explain. I'll explain it later when I'm doing less stuff. This is Granny. Granny's very inconsistent part of the run.
I'll take my daily lottery ticket as well. Let me just
All right, we got fast Granny there.
There
It's very hard to do that fast and correctly. It's very inconsistent. But if you do it right, you can skip all the dialogue. It's just the timing to do it right is very awkward. Anyways, this guy wants a hot dog and some gum. Anyways, we're just pulling this because, yeah, right there. Okay, there we go.
I was talking, not you.
There we go. Put the cash. Had a little trouble there.
No matter how irritating
doing
the
things and
customer,
saying things are
humans were
hard.
required to smile and be polite.
Alright, this girl wants sugar stuff, so we're gonna just get these candy bars out here. We also need to ring up the banana, because the mom wants her to be healthy, but what do we care? We just want the money, am I right?
Now you stay here for a minute, dearie. Mommy needs to use the little box room.
Anyways,
Dearie, why don't you
use pie skip there. Now, as you can see, when we slide in the dollar, we're skipping all this dialogue that we would normally have to wait for them to give us $1 to put in, because we get to keep the dollar, and it's great. It needs to be fridge, then needs to be display.
You know it needs more maximum energy branding. If you're all done, just hit that.
Anyways, there's
button and
potential to
let's lock
soft
this
lock
thing
here.
in.
Alright, good, we didn't soft lock.
Hey, human, over here.
Like, if he starts
I
moving...
can make this work. Yeah, I'll be out in a second.
Anyways, we just had to put 4 soda cans on display. If he starts moving, like, he goes to the bathroom, and if he starts moving before you press the button, but he doesn't finish moving, when you press the button, then it soft locks the game, and it's not fun.
We're on brand, baby. Boom!
Anyways, we're just waiting for dialogue here.
Peace out, human.
Come on. Alright, this next person just wants this.
Oh, I just got back from jogging, and oh man, do you have something to replenish my electrolytes?
Back before the universal credit system, some
There we
humans had more money than they knew what to do with, and struggled to find ways to spend it.
Anyways, this guy just wants stuff, anything.
Hello, human.
So we're gonna prepare for another
What's
task,
good here? Give me stuff.
which is
Whatever's
getting rid of some of the stuff on these specific shelves.
Oh, no, that's cool. How about a couple more things?
Anyways, this is the other person that we have to wait for special money from.
Keep the change.
For
Nothing like a little retail therapy.
2 of the tasks, we actually have to wait for them to give us money, or technically 3. I'll explain that in just a bit.
There's your weekly delivery, stuff in the shelves and stuff. Well, there you go. You know the drill. Gum in the gum rack. Magazines on the magazine rack.
There we go.
Good stuff right there. Oh, wow.
The magazines
Take the
typically
box.
fall
See you
off
later.
this shelf if you don't place them carefully. However, we're trying to do things as fast as possible. This is fairly easy to get in. These gums lock, and we have to place everything in the box there, so yeah. We do the magazines last, so that way they just kind of are there, and then they fall off, but they're considered there. Anyways, this guy just wants something for free. We have to give him a popsicle, because they're going to be thrown out if they don't, if we don't give them. But
Could I get a bit of change?
expiration dates and stuff.
Wow,
Anyways, he wants some
thanks.
change. Let's just
You're
take that back.
a
You know, let's
real
just
good person.
take his hat and
I'll
glasses.
be going now.
Yeah. Want to make sure we can actually close that. You can soft. Well, I've soft locked because I couldn't close that before.
Look at this. I've got a coin here for you.
Anyways, now we get a coin.
What can I buy for this? It's a pleasure doing business with you.
Here's that. We now need to quickly open the safe.
Sometimes it was necessary to make special deals with customers.
Get the
like
cheese
this
out for
to assure
Bandit Bot.
their repeated patronage. Wait, oh no! Here comes
As you can see that we complete the task here before any of the subtasks pop up here, so the next task with this guy starts immediately without us having to full task activation. That was something I explained earlier.
Convenience stores, where I think this bot's had a little.
Oh, I forgot. Wait. Alright.
Had to wait a certain amount of time there before getting the burrito out, otherwise it doesn't work. I think I can finally explain pie skip now that it's no longer going to be necessary.
Wow there.
Every time that you have to,
the human uprising of 2027.
every time that you have to pull the lever to open the cash register at all, we get to put in the money, like every time that they pay you. I think I missed one. Yeah, I missed one. That was slow. But every time that you have to do that, it simply checks to see if you initially pulled it, and then after that, it just checks to see if you've closed it and if you put the money in. Not that you've put the money in before closing it. And so you can actually just slide the money in here, and it count that you put the money in while it's closed. So that's pretty good. And it only takes the money away once you close it and the money is already locked in. So yeah. I don't know, I'm still trying to explain stuff while I'm doing stuff. Anyways, we gotta check the ID here. You know, that ID was a fake one. Oh, they just gave us the wrong one. Let's see. Oh, well, they accepted it, so I guess it's a legitimately idea. Anyways, there you go. Here, have some fireworks that you wanted. Oh no, it's kids. Jokes and stuff.
That was strange, but the most important thing is that the product
Anyways,
is safe.
a
Let's move on.
store clerk is coming up here. So.
Good evening, human. I understand you were held at Banana Point earlier
Also,
this evening.
this is the first time I'm trying to do a live commentary in a while, so sorry if it's not the greatest.
Let me make it simple for you.
I have time to practice.
Just hand me the one who did it. Make sure you're certain.
Alright, that's the last subtask. We can eat the exit burrito and have it still count. Alright, now we're going on to Gourmet Chef. This one's pretty crazy, so pay attention, kids. Alright, now we're going on to Gourmet Chef, and I need to explain a lot of things post-production that I wasn't able to during the thing. Anyways, we're going to start out by making breakfast and then making a smoothie. However, there's a few quirks in Job Simulator that are important to note in this next series of things. The first thing that is the rule, do all subtasks in order. You have to still follow that. It's the thing. The next one that you have to remember is as soon as the last subtask and the final subtask in a task is done, it's considered that you moved on to the next task. And also, there's a quirk where if you complete all the subtasks in a task before any of the subtasks pop up on the instruction screen, then it considers you onto the next task immediately without you having to pull the task activation. And finally, there's a weird quirk with Gourmet Chef where if you complete the last tasks that was shown on the screens, if you make that food, like that tasked food item, and then you put it on the plate, the bell will appear. What this means is that we can make the smoothie, and then from that point on, just simply not take the task activation and do all the subtasks in order, and make it where we only have to fill up a cup of water and put that on the plate, as well as make, you know, the current task item. Put that on a plate, ring the bell, and it'll be sent out and still count. And that's what we're doing here. And because of that, we're allowed to skip some dialogue with this. It's called the special skip, because we first discovered the way to do it, part of it on the special. But anyways, yeah, that's that. I hope that explanation will explain it. I'm gonna attempt to explain it later in this run, but I'm gonna fail. So anyways, back to the actual explanation live commentary. Anyways, here normally we would have to wait for $1, but we don't have to because we're off. So, explanation is definitely required here, and I will do my best while continue to doing things fast.
Wait a second. Before you played that, did you realize that was famed meat aficionado?
Hello, it's my little Timmy Bob's birthday.
I can't explain it right now.
Pizza is generally defined as a combination of bread, tomato, and
Anyways, I need
cheese.
3 of these.
Put their own twist on the dish, adding additional
Microwave.
flavors. We are almost there. Come, let's begin by blending up some homemade tomato sauce.
Anyways, we're making pizza here. This will give me a chance to actually explain what's been going on here.
That looks like enough to supply the festivities. Send them off
We
to
need
the
to make
dining room.
2 more pieces of pizza. So how this works is I've mentioned before the quirk in the game where you have to do all subtasks in order. That's not the main quirk. The main quirk is once you've finished the last subtask of a task, you're considered moved on to the next task. So right now it's considered me moving on to the next task, in which the whole joke of it is that one of the kids is allergic to tomatoes. I can switch that to the right thing. So we have to make a pizza with a different kind of sauce. What kind of sauce? Applesauce. He's also allergic to warmth, so we have to kind of serve it cold here, so we'll go ahead and do that. But
Eat up to me.
there's a so
Special for you.
yeah, as you can hear,
Just how I like it.
yeah, I can't explain this. Open that and make sure that's on.
Can you help me out here? I'm trying to propose to my romantic partner.
We're just gonna listen
I
to
want it to be a
this.
surprise. Can you hide this ring inside a sandwich or something?
Alright, yeah, so
Oh, that's
here we're gonna
great.
burn a disc, so we're
one
gonna
more
just
thing, though.
put it on the grill to burn it. That makes sense.
I forgot to burn this disc. Could you burn it for me?
We're gonna have some time here where I'm gonna be making a cake with flour and eggs. There we go. We can now hit that. This is quick dialogue skip.
What's this, my dear? My sandwich feels much like
So yeah, how that works is, for whatever reason, we found that before the first subtask appears on the board there, whenever you put something on the plate from the previous task, like the thing that you have to put on the plate to ring it out from the previous task on the plate before the next subtask pops up for the next task, it brings up the bell. It also starts the next task as soon as you finish with the first subtask, or the last subtask is the previous task, and you have to pull that task activator to activate the task to have the subtask pop up there. And you have to do everything in order. So I know this is a little bit confusing, but what it means is that before you pull the task activator, you're already on to the next task, but you can still put the item of the previous task on there to have the bell pop up, and you can still do the next task in the same order for all the subtasks, and still have it count towards the progress of the completion of the task. So sorry.
Great, thanks for your help.
Yeah, there's that. We weigh down the soap with this and do some things.
You there? I need your help. The health inspector's on his way over, and I don't think we're gonna
Anyways,
pass
this is
inspection.
Health
We need to
Inspector.
clean this place up.
I'm just gonna set this up for later.
You can start by destroying.
Anyways, we gotta destroy all this old fruit. Ugh. Check to make sure that's working. It's not. Who cares? Anyways, we gotta destroy 5 bugs now. They spawn right here, so let me crouch down.
Now we need to deal with any yikes, that's not good. You need to do something about these guys.
So we grab 5 of these guys, blend them up. There we go, we're done with the health inspector, though. Why waste free food, am I right? Just grab these off the ground. There we go. So,
Interesting.
yes, let's... Oh, yes, add some of that to this. Ooh, this is gonna be an exquisite drink. This would be a time where we read donations, or I attempt to explain what happened when I skipped a whole bunch of stuff. Which I'm not gonna do. I can't do it. I'm gonna have someone else do it. Gray's probably gonna be there. He'll explain. He understands it.
But now
I think.
we can get back to business.
Hey, Chef! There's a bot here to film an episode of some TV show with you?
Anyways, we're doing the TV show now. Or the commercial.
Well, just do whatever they say.
Here we're just gonna blend up the protein pill, put a flavor pack in the microwave to make a protein cube, and put the protein pill onto the protein cube and eat it. That's the commercial. So
First step is to blend up this protein pill.
there we go. We're gonna blend that up. Go to the microwave.
Okay, great, that was good. Now let's get a shot of you putting this flavor packet in the microwave. All right, it's in there. Close the door and let me get a shot. All right.
We gotta wait a certain amount of time here before we can start porting on a 1, 1002, 1003. There we go. Play that, you know, just fill up these cups with this.
Like it's real delicious,
We're gonna need to go to the microwave now.
Hey human, check this out. I found this rare.
Anyways, he has a Turbo Ghost Nova Pepper, so you know we're making it hot. You know, it's not hot enough. Let's get it hotter. So we can put it in the microwave. That's gonna get it hot. We can put it on the grill. That's gonna make it hot, right? There you go. You got a super hot pepper.
Guess that'll have to do. Get here.
That's basically all that happens here.
Hey, Chef. We got 3 bots out here who ordered the special. Not sure what that means, but that's what they want.
Ordering the special. That looks interesting. Send it off to the customer.
There we go.
What a fascinating
Another beautiful looking meal, Chef.
So in case you're wondering what's in this cup, we have some rotten fruit, some bugs, protein pill, fire extinguisher fluid,
Special, and they certainly got
and a bug.
Nice cooking, human.
Like a live bug.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
This is way
Alright, so for this one, we kind of go out of bounds right here and spray this, because we can, he's on fire and we can easily put him out there. Saves a little bit of time, because he'll move side to side there if we don't put him out early, and it takes longer to put him out that way. Anyways, we just gotta... Ah, crap. There's another skip I could have done here, but I missed it. I forgot about it. Oh well.
I just got word from the TV studio, Human. They liked your performance on that commercial you did, so they're sending in a camera crew, and they're gonna put you in a reality show.
There's too much to explain here.
In the distant past,
I need other people to explain stuff for me.
The peak of human achievement. Good work, human.
Anyways, here we're gonna be skipping dialogue.
Let's get those cameras set
We
up
had to
already.
cook up 3 meatballs. This is a Hell's Kitchen reference here, but we had to cook 3 meatballs.
Bring in the talent.
But if we turn on the grill right here and start cooking them after he says talent, we can get this dialogue skip.
Those look so bad. My neural network
Right here, he normally introduces himself, but instead he does the line for as soon as you cook the meatballs. So that's what happens there.
Or just let them sit there and get even more disgusting. Truly despicable. My kids could cook a meal 100 times better than that.
Anyways, we could have skipped this dialogue if I had remembered to skip. During the special, we just put a piece of bread on the plate before taking the task activator to start the next task. And that will bring the bell up, and it will stay there until this point, until we ring the bell. So here we have to wait for dialogue.
Get to cooking. Make something good.
There we
Show
go.
us what you can do. Anything. That's so overdone.
But anyways, the bell would be there, so after we put the meatballs in, we'd immediately hit that, and we'd skip some dialogue here. On top of the other dialogue that we're skipping by waiting the correct amount of time.
It's a wrap, folks. Get your retinas checked.
Hello, there's never.
Anyways, we're going to office workers, you know, the classic task here.
Thank you, human. May I...
Anyways, we're going to start off by plugging in the computer, making a cup of coffee, logging in by not typing in the correct password, and going to our emails, drinking our coffee, deleting all of our emails, and then pulling the task activator, waiting for this box of donuts to come up and quickly eating a donut before the first subtask pops up. That therefore skips the second task in which we have to delete all of our emails. And let's just go to the third task immediately after the first. It's a lot there. It uses a whole bunch of stuff that I've already attempted to explain and for the most part failed, so I'm going to not even try to explain that. Just know it works.
I'm thinking about giving you a promotion. In fact, if nothing goes wrong,
Anyways, he's like, if nothing goes wrong in the next 10 seconds, he's going to give us a promotion. So we just mess with his glasses, because we don't care about no promotion. We just want to get out of here as soon as possible, right? Anyways, he gives us a promotion anyways, whatever, we don't need that. We're just making a whole bunch of copies right now of disc for later.
Good job, human. You're climbing the ranks. And here comes Bossbot. Looks like he's...
Hello, human.
Grab these like this.
I know.
Anyways, we just gotta hire 2 people here.
Give you your first task of the day. We need
There we
to
go.
bring some new bots on
I brought all
board.
4 of these
So what
resumes
your
out for
resumes?
backup.
So much for hiring
Strats.
me.
Anyways, we gotta wait for
Let you down.
Bossbot to go to that point before grabbing the task activation, otherwise we soft lock.
Have you seen the latest sales
Anyways, we're just gonna
report?
copy some
This isn't
triangles.
good. Load up the old
Backup strats
spreadsheet
again.
program and fix these
Anyways, here we gotta cook
numbers.
the books. We just gotta make their expensive higher than or lower than our profits. And we do that by changing to our expenses to 0 rather than making our profits super high because it's faster and stuff. And there's tech there that I don't have time to explain. Anyways, we're going to the vending machine skip. I just dropped the backup strats.
Vending machines.
Anyways, what we do here, we take this dollar, we put it in here, we specifically choose the nuts and bolts, we eat our chips, because he's going to want a candy bar. We're just going to give him this candy bar that we got. Because, as you see, the triangles are there, and all the game's checking for when you eat your snack is that it's one of the items there. It doesn't actually check to see if it's the same one that you got out. So we get the triangles out of the trash and eat those. Anyways, these are some memes, you know. Memes at the office, just a typical day, right? Not actually working, just looking at memes. That's how it goes.
Hello, human. I'm looking forward to your presentation.
So this is presentation. We make a PowerPoint presentation, except the program's called PowerDot.
So BossBot wants you to do a
Don't
presentation.
ask, I don't know.
You'll need to
Copyright?
make some slides. Time to learn about an ancient human technique called winging it.
Yeah.
Try using
Anyways,
this program in
this
your computer.
is the major time loss of this job, and it's because you have to, it's menuing basically. It's a lot of menuing, but in VR, and it's small buttons that you have to click, and it's hard to click stuff fast. And it matters what you click too. When you're choosing the transitions, you want to choose professional, because the professional transitions are faster than the cheesy and the
Here's the clicker. Use the
and the
button to
dramatic
go through your
transitions.
slides.
So here we go through the presentation that we just made. If you notice, there's that little button icon in the corner. We have to wait for that to go away before we can press the button to transition on.
Nice job,
Lost a little bit
human.
of time there.
That was very
That's okay.
business.
Make another safety copy here.
Hey, human. Bot number
10110.
is retiring tomorrow.
Anyway, someone's
Wanted to give him
retiring,
a
so we're
party
gonna
gift.
have to give them
Everyone's pitching in.
flowers
Why don't you give me something?
and a nice note, you
Oh,
know?
how thoughtful. I'm sure they will.
Appreciate
It.
There's the audio trigger.
Anyway, do you think
Anyways,
you
we're
could type
typing up a
that
quick
instead?
note.
Okay,
Now, if you look at her notes,
Thanks
completely
for helping
blank,
out.
but she doesn't care.
Hey, what the?
I don't care whether or not there's actual writing on it. We can just give them blank notes and they're happy.
Things aren't going too well. We need to find a couple
Anyways, now we have to
bots where
fire
go.
bots.
Take a look
Now,
at these
depending on how
employee
fast that you do the
evaluations.
hiring, you can actually make the firing take longer. Luckily, we didn't have that happen, but there's a chance.
But I've only been working for less than
Anyways, this time it won't
an hour.
soft lock if we pull this immediately, unlike hiring. So we just have to wait for this.
Saving up
There we
to
go.
buy a new hard drive.
Alright. So here I need to print a photo. I need to drink some water here.
The liquid dispenser.
I need to print another photo to skip some dialogue.
Check out these.
There we go.
Do you bear children?
There's that. I think this is Shredder. Yeah, this is Shredder. If I'm going for 100%, I would take this Jobot toy
Look,
and shred
I've
it.
got some papers I need you to shred. It has to be you for
Hey,
legal
that almost
reasons.
hurt.
I don't really want to.
Anyways, here he gets us stuff to shred. We have to shred the books first, then the dollars, then the Jobot toy, then 6 of these discs, and that takes your order.
That was a close one.
The Jobot toy we actually don't have to. Doesn't the Jobot toy and the disc, they don't have to be specifically those items.
Don't let that
However, discs take up very little desk space, can easily be stack up, and are easy to grab. So that's why I use them.
Human. I am CEO Bot. Here's the thing.
Anyways,
BossBot
and the Jobot toy.
And you've been doing a
Yeah,
really good
that was just to shred the Jobot toy.
So I'd like to
It
offer
screams.
you a promotion.
But we have to do the books in order and then dollars. You can actually soft lock the game in a very hard way.
Your next paycheck.
Anyways, we're just gonna take all this cake.
Now make a wish and blow out the candle. Here you go, human. I got you a
present.
Anyways, we're gonna open this present. There we go.
Now that you're the boss of this department, I'll leave it to you.
Are you guys
to
ready
do
for
the
time?
honors.
Time's coming up. And time! Time to stop. Haha, that's a clock joke. So I definitely think my panic attempt at explaining what I'm doing was better last submission, but whatever.
yeah.
Hooray! It's
Anyways, I'm just doing something that we call the magic paper airplane here. This copier, if you do it right, you can actually make items that typically just fall down on the ground, like paper airplanes, they'll just fall down.
Well, there
You
you
can
have it,
make them go to
I
low
hope this has
gravity
given
mode.
you a better idea of what
But
it
it's
was
really
once
weird
like
with
to,
paper
I swear
airplanes,
to-
because instead of just having like no gravity, so they'll just kind of
Well, you know how to
fly
get back
straight
to the
for
museum
forever,
if you want
they
to.
actually have
I'll just be hanging
anti-gravity,
out here while
and
you
they'll
do
just float
whatever you
up
want.
until they hit something. I don't like. I just throw it at the ground. Like as soon as it hits something, the effect is negated. But I'll throw that at the ground and it'll just start flying up. And after it hits something, then you can just kind of move it around and it'll just go to low gravity mode. That's a fun thing. We've actually found a way how we can set gravity, like low gravity, to items in just about every single job. The only problem is it's not at all useful in the speedrun, but it's an interesting quirk to the game. It's fun to show off. Oh yeah, also this happens sometimes. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. The only one that we haven't found out how to do low gravity for is Gourmet Chef. Anyways, I'm going to attempt to explain that skip that I did at the beginning of Gourmet Chef now.